Not too bad. How was yours? Smooth? Nice. I don't know what I'm supposed to do up here. I guess I just talk for a minute.
Where's Joel?
Joel's in the back. He'll be here.
When are you going to get on the cozy TV?
I don't know. I don't know. I got an idea, but I don't know. I don't know if I really have that time.
I like watching when it's all the whole crew together.
Yeah. Talking about something. There's Joel. He black. He black. I see some new faces. A couple of them. It's good. Welcome.
No Hake over there on the side too?
Hake will be there. Don't worry.
It's out of place.
Everybody's so quiet.
Did they have a life?
Dink. Dink.
What was the biblical question this week?
I just heard it and forgot it. You remember it, Joel?
The traitor inside you? Yes,
Yeah, did you? Yeah, there you go. Did you find God or God find you or something like that? Here comes my nemesis.
And then what was the homework assignment?
I wasn't here last week. I don't know.
Was there any homework?
Pay it. Be aware. Make it easy. Make it easy. Be aware. Don't you guys work here?
I didn't get any of that. Let's try that again.
Be conscious in every thought, act, and step.
Oh, I failed that one.
Or is that from maybe that's from past week? That's what I thought. But nobody else remembers it. That makes sense.
So did you do all that?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You ever notice that when you start doing it, it'll be like you'll do it for seemingly a long time, but it's really that fast, and then you almost forget. For me, I'll be. But I don't. Good morning. Welcome to church with Jesse Lee Peterson. I am not Jesse Lee Peterson, but he will be here in just a moment, so don't leave yet. All right, I'm going to just start it out. Jesse was originally going to be out of town, and I was going to do the show, but it didn't work out, so he'll be here shortly. I'm just going to say what I was going to talk about had I had the chance. So my thing is like obsessions and addictions, and I just kind of noticed, one of the things I noticed about myself is that I get into something that I like doing, and I don't want to do any of the other. So like for a job, I'll get into one aspect of my job. Oh, my name is Doug Massey. I am not Jesse Lee Peterson. That was enough. That was good enough for me. So I get into these like obsessions, and on my job, for instance, I'll have something I really like to do, and I don't want to do the other little aspects of the job just because I want to focus on this. But I was thinking about that, and it's like, how do I get so caught up in this that I can't even do the rest of the job? There's something a little weird about that. So I just kind of thought about that, and I was wondering if anybody else had those type of things. I literally can go weeks doing this one thing and trying to figure out how to make it better and all that, and not hardly think about the more tedious stuff or the stuff I deem boring or whatever. So I was just kind of curious. Anybody have those type of things? Hold on. the young man there.
What I noticed that my job is on a team, there's four people, and there's 3 tasks. I do one task, the lead does the second task, and then the other 2 people do the third task. When I learned the first task, I saw this sense of fear when I started doing the skill. And then as time went on, that fear was still there. And then I saw that, but like I still just did my job. You know, I naturally just went through my day. But what happened, or the problem I saw, is that I got used to having that skill. So there's 3 skills. I got used to just that one skill. So when eventually the supervisor, whoever wants me to do the other, not the third one, but one of the tasks, I fall, or not fall, like fail, but just I get delays, and the task, the assignment ends up being late because I don't feel like doing that task.
Yeah.
I do it anyway, but like I just do like quiet quitting, like the bare minimum.
Yeah,
Because I'm
I
just
know
not
what you
used to
mean.
doing that task.
I know what you mean. And there's something that you just mentioned that I'm gonna get to in a minute too, because I think it kind of derives from a fear, and that's part of what I notice about myself. But I know what you mean. I can procrastinate with the best of them. And this is not just my job. This is with anything that I like doing. So it's not just, I can only say certain things on camera. So I'm just saying we'll start with the job. But yeah, I know what you mean. I procrastinate, and it takes everything I have in me to do that. And I want to do this. So it's just kind of a weird thing, and I don't think it's healthy at all. Because why am I making it why do I have this mindset that I don't want to do it, right? It's my job. So why wouldn't I want to do it? Or why would I be so addicted in a way to this to where nothing else really seems to matter? That's pretty odd to me.
Well, I think a thought that popped up in my head is, I guess I don't want to go through the fear of knowing that new task again. I don't, this is just
That's a good point.
hypothetical, but just I went through fear to learn the task that I'm used to. And
Yeah.
then even though it's there, I still do it. And then that other task, I guess, I just don't want to go through that fear and to learn that other skill.
That's a good point. And that's going to lead me to something too in a minute. Cool. Anybody else? Nobody. Cool. Everybody's perfect. So one of the things I noticed about myself in that is that there is, so I'm not like physically a fear. A lot of physical things don't scare me, right? It just doesn't bother me a lot anymore. So, like for instance, sometimes I'll come down the alley and there'll be people in the alley and it'll be 4 a.m, dark, and that doesn't bother me. The people come talk to me, that doesn't bother me necessarily. Like, I don't feel like scared, but that's physical fear. And so what I realized about this whole thing is that even when Jesse asked me, you want to do the show? I'm like, no, not necessarily. What do I want to talk about? I don't prefer this, but I do it just about every day on my job, and I do it easily every weekend because it's just what I do. I speak to people all the time, and it'll be in a smaller, it could be one person, it could be 200 people, it could be 4 people. So I do it all the time, but so it's kind of weird to me, like, why do I get that initial, like, that initial shock? Do you want to do the show, Doug? And I'm trying to think, what am I going to talk about? Because so I do have fears. I do have these little fears, and they're all derived. Well, I don't know about all, but at least to some degree, they're derived from what I don't prefer or I don't want to do. And so I'm coming to the point where at least I can see that, having the mindset of not wanting to do something is not necessarily that good, because if I think about this, just about all the stuff that I don't want to do that I do, I feel good afterwards. It's kind of strange, right? Like let's just say something easy. someone invites you to their house, but it's Saturday and you just want to relax, or Sunday you just want to relax, you don't want to feel like doing anything, but then you go and you have a great time. So to me, it's kind of interesting how my mind works, and I'm just like totally. It's only been 10 minutes, so I'm totally like in my head about what I don't want to do before anything happens anyway, and that's just odd to me. So anybody else that way? And then we'll come.
You said something, Doug, that kind of really rang true to me, and that was when you said doing things that, well, having a preference. And that's something that I take with me like every day. I have a preference with stuff all the time. And whenever, what you're just reminding me of is how like I can go into things with a bad attitude. Not necessarily being like nasty, but just that avoidance of whatever task or whatever thing it is. To me, that's like going through it with like a bad attitude.
Yeah.
And it might seem kind of like tiny, but that kind of stuff, at least in my life, kind of can, not really compound, but it's just something that kind of like I carry with me all the time without realizing it. And it's just like, for me, it's easy to just go through things with like a grinchy attitude sometimes, you know?
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, I wonder like what I've lost from having that type of mindset. Like I don't feel like doing that. I ain't doing that. Like I wonder like how much I've really lost, or what I didn't gain from that type of mindset, because it can't be any good, right? Why shouldn't I want to do anything, right? In theory, I should be okay to go through whatever I have to go through. We're talking about little stuff like sweeping, something simple like just nothing stuff. So I just wonder. I saw Joel's hand, and then I'll come to you.
Don't sit up straight and don't lean on the table. You ain't at home.
Don't tell me
That's
what
from
to
the
do.
back. It's an anonymous message.
I don't want to
know
do
where
that.
that's
This damn chair hurts my back.
It's almost like a preconceived, like an idea that is like inputted into the mind, I guess, to want to already have an opinion about how you're going to feel about what like we don't want to do. Because you're right, it's like we don't know if we're not going to like it, and oftentimes we actually do like it, or we're okay with the result. But it almost seems like just like a fear that comes of us not being familiar with what might happen or whatever, right? So we're so maybe so comfortable with the results we know we're going to get when we do things that we want to do, opposed to something that we don't know is going to happen. And I don't know, we're maybe afraid to experience some type of pain that could come or some type of bad reaction, but it seems like a setup.
It's totally, well, that's what I realized. It's totally a setup, and also realize that I do have fear. Whether even, you might not be able to scare me outside, right? But there's something that I'm afraid of, because why wouldn't it just be like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And you know, the weird thing about it is that I'm not gonna say no. Even when he asked me, there's nothing. Even I was like, but I didn't say no. And then I found out he wasn't leaving, and I was like, all right, cool. And then he asked me, well, you still want to do 30 minutes? I was like, not necessarily. So but it is a fear. There's a fear there, and what the fear of, I guess there's a lot of things that could go through your head, but it's not necessarily real either, because I'm sitting up here doing this, and I thought I would be sweating a little bit, and I am, but I'm not like horribly. This doesn't bother me, right? And it really could bother me if I was scared, or if so the fear is right here, right, going through my head, and what people are going to think, how many people are going to get up when I sat up here and leave, how many people were going to, where's Jesse, you know? So the fear is here. And I wish that I could always see that the fear is right here in my head and not like part of me. And so I saw Frankie's hand.
So sometimes when I get into situations like that, I notice my mind plays games with me. And so what happens is either another situations will come up just like that, where you've got an obligation or you made a promise, and then something, well, you can do this now. You can do this now. You don't have to do that. And it's, for me, the poison of the situation is the thoughts, and my thoughts trying to sabotage me or put fear into me or other possibilities. And because if you don't, usually it's always right to follow the first thought, the first thing that you were supposed to do, and go through it. For you not to do that, I mean, there's kind of a price to pay. You can be one of those persons or people that don't get things done, don't do things. Yeah. And I don't want to be that person. I've been that person before, and it's no fun. The person that gets things done and keeps their word, that's a powerful thing. And it's kind of like one of a man's characteristics, to do what he says he's going to do. So that's, it's a powerful thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I kind of realized about the whole thing is again, that I am sitting here doing this, and it's not nearly as bad as all that's going on in your mind. So I just wish that I could, I just wish that I could see some of those thoughts a little bit sooner, so I don't have to go through. And I think to myself, I'm not a miserable person. I don't feel miserable. There was a time in my life when I did feel miserable, but I don't feel miserable. But it is miserable. It's miserable to think about all this stuff. Oh my God, people aren't going to show up. If once people know they're not going to be here, people are going to see me up here and leave. I wonder what they're thinking. That's miserable. And I didn't know that was miserable because I've been physically miserable in my life. So this young man here. Did you raise your hand?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
In real time.
Nice. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did raise my hand. I just wanted to kind of echo and resonate on, echo and build on something you said, because it really resonated with me, on the nature of those thoughts. And it's funny because the more you watch those fears, and I think a lot of the fears we have are kind of our subtle fears, especially how we live now. Like, we don't have attackers or lions coming to get us. A lot of those fears are like something that just kind of lives anxiously, subtly in the back of our head and maybe nags at us a little bit. Or even if they're more serious than that. But what I've noticed as I watch those, and I still haven't completely learned this lesson, is those things that I'm afraid of. Like, I have my issue is, it's a silly one. It's personal bureaucratic things nag me and scare me, like taxes or legal things or whatever. A lot of them that maybe is just a phone call to resolve, and I put it off and I worry about it. And a lot of those worries that I have never actually exist. They're nowhere. They're not even a possibility. They're just a thing that I pine over in my mind. And had I just addressed it, I would realize that wasn't even a thing to be afraid of in the first place.
Yeah. It's quite amazing that it's so subtle that I didn't even realize at first that I was miserable, right? Because I felt miserable physically in my life, and I know what that feels like. And this is miserable in a different way. I don't always feel like something bad is happening. I just I go crazy. So to me, it's like for me, it's been a huge trick. It's been a huge lie that I just didn't even realize. And maybe I just kind of realized more of it just sitting down here and talking about it. So.
I think the way I've been able to battle what you're talking about is I don't think about things like somebody will tell me like, oh, go do this so you could get this result. I'm like, cool. I don't know if maybe it's ignorance or I don't know what it is, but it's just like, okay, cool, I'll go do this. They'll tell me, oh, go talk to that person, ask them about this. Boom, I go do it. And I'm like, dude, we didn't think you were gonna do it. But I think it's more than anything, I think it's a practice of things. The longer you do something that's uncomfortable, it comes to the point where it loses that sense of uncomfortability. And I think
Is that a word?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I think I know what you mean, except in this particular case for me, I'm not worried about speaking in front of people. I do it all the time.
Right.
I don't prefer it, and that's my issue.
Oh.
It's something that I don't prefer to do, and I'm trying to understand like why. Why do I not prefer to do this, and what other things don't I prefer to do that maybe hold me back in life, right? Because if I can do this every day, I just don't prefer to do it. Have I lost anything? I don't think I've lost anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the sense that I am doing it, right? I think that my attitude kind of holds me back, and there might be something that I have lost from that, but I can do this. So I don't know why I have the mindset that this is boring.
So is it just like the task that you don't want to do? That's what you're referring to? Like
I just don't
there's
like
certain things
people.
like I don't like to clean. So I used to have a cleaning lady, but then my wife's like, I'll just clean. We could save ourselves that money. But I don't like to clean
Oh, I know.
the way she does. Like she's so meticulous about it. And sometimes she'll tell me like, hey, can you help me clean real quick? And I'll do it slow. That way she's like, get out of the way. I'll do it myself. But
You do it wrong so that she...
yeah, so she tells me to
Nice.
go away. And I think I don't know if maybe that's the way you're talking about it. Like there's just certain things that you have to do, but you don't want to do them. So you just, I don't know, maybe the attitude or the spirit that you're going into doing them isn't right.
That's for sure. But it leads me to my next point. And I saw somebody's hand too in a minute. Just one second. So what I realized is that, and I just thought about it right now when you said that, is that I have a huge, huge comfort zone. And I ain't coming out of it. I don't want to come out of it. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be outside of that. So that's what I believe is why I have that. I don't want to do that, because I want to be right there in my little world, my beautiful little comfortable world. So
I was getting a little confused, so I want to clarify. Are you talking about something like I like to build chairs or something, but I hate cleaning up? Like if somebody came, like a little fairy came and cleaned up the sawdust and put everything away, yeah, right? I'd order that right away.
yeah,
A little cleaning fairy.
that
But is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about something that you just like tax? I hate doing taxes, anything paperwork. Well, that's true too. But like for the sake of this conversation, is that what you're talking about? Just a task you're not really like it's not fun.
it could be literally anything, something that's outside of in my case, it was my comfort zone, right? Getting up here is not exactly the most comfortable thing, but I can do it.
Okay,
And I
enough.
know I can do it because I've done it before.
That's more okay.
But it could be that. It could be as little, because in our mind we think that's little. I don't feel like cleaning up. I don't like it. It could be that.
Right.
Anything that, I'm going to say anything that we don't want to do, we have the mindset that I do not like that is the problem.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So whether it's sweeping up your mess,
Yeah.
or let's just say I like to cook, right? Cleaning up the mess,
Yeah.
that is the most painful thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible.
I'd
But I
take
have
the
to do
cooking
it.
over the dishes. If we could trade,
Yeah.
sign up for cooking.
I just want to eat.
Or I didn't know
That's
that was a
all- that's
third.
all I
That's the
want.
third option.
I don't even want to cook.
Yeah.
But I don't mind cooking, so.
So, because you mentioned fear, but I understand what you mean when you're trying to specify fear. Because usually when people think of fear, you're thinking like being in the ocean and having a shark come underneath you. But you're not talking about that kind of fear. You're talking
No.
about
I'm talking about the kind of fear that comes up when you are asked to come out of your comfort zone. And I didn't think I had it.
right. Right.
And I didn't think, for the longest time, I didn't think that it was fear. I just figured, I just don't feel like doing that. But there's a fear there. It has to do with fear. Why would I not want to do something? Nobody's asking me to put my arm in the Iron Man and get it chopped off. Iron Man is a big tool that punches holes in metal. Nobody's asking me to do something like that. Nobody's asking me to put my hand in the shark tank so that it could get, nobody's asking me to do stupid stuff like that. So these are things that we have to do in life.
And is it an immediate, like, I don't want to do it, or do your thoughts start? Because for me, it's thoughts. Like, I
Yeah.
start talking myself out of stuff.
That's exactly the way it works for me too.
Okay.
The
So it
thoughts
just
that
goes
come.
back to thoughts again.
Yeah, but there's a fear there. And that's what I realized when Jesse asked me, I'm going to be out of town, you want to do the meeting? I'm like, so.
Right. But if fear is a fire, are the thoughts the logs you keep throwing in it?
Yes. It's not, I'm not saying it's a real fear,
Right.
but it is a fear.
Well, without the thoughts,
Because I say it's not real because as soon as I sat up here and looked at all of you, I can do this. This is nothing. This is really nothing. But my thoughts talked me out of it because I don't want to do it. And there's a fear there of me coming out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is to be over there, not talking to anybody.
well, he calls you every now and then, right?
He'll call on me every now and then, but for the most part, if I could be over there
Yeah.
invisible, I'd be over there invisible.
Yeah. Right on. So it comes down to thoughts. Your fear is being given to you by the thoughts. You don't just have the fear without the thoughts. It's the thoughts that give you the fear.
I'm not going to pretend like I understand all of it. I'm just saying what I saw about me. I don't know exactly how it works. I know that it has to do with my thoughts because the moment I made up my mind to do it,
Yeah.
it was gone. Not saying that there's not a little bit of trepidation or a little bit of nerves getting up here.
Right.
But the moment I realized that I was in my head, and the moment I realized that I was really wanted to be in my comfort zone, is the moment that it went away.
Nice. I understand. No.
Yes.
It's a game
Sure is.
that one plays, and it's like a game of thrones, a game of power, a game of hide and seek, a game of master of disguise, and games are for children, and that's like a pretend thing where you try to, it's like,
What are you saying?
well, this obsession one, right? So like, it's a game of chicken sometimes. So we, it's a game of thinking, just like when you go to a fortune teller, like, or even thinking, I know this is my comfort, when you really don't know that,
Yeah.
because everything starts off with fear. So then we're just wanting to pretend that we're so sure of ourselves, even within our own inner dialogue. So that's why we're like, oh, I already know what I like. I already know what this is going to be.
Right.
That's why, like, I'll get obsessed with a certain type of genre of music or an era of history where I think this is where all the answers lie. Or like you were saying about having fear about us not responding to you as the way we respond to Jesse. But it's like, you're no different than Jesse. Like maybe we think he has all the power. And so you're like, I don't want to, I don't have the power like he does. Or sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want people to think I'm crazy, so I want to still stay silent so I can still have that power of mystique, or like the power of like, oh, see, I am listening. But it's just a game.
Yeah.
And like games are for kids.
It's
Tricks
a-
are for kids, right?
It's a trick.
Tricks are for kids, yeah. And like you could be a trick all your life. Yeah, and be tricking people, but yeah.
No, I think you're right, and part of this is part of what I realize is that me sticking in my comfort zone is keeping me in fear. We aren't supposed to be in our comfort zone. If you think about your life, well, probably most people's life, those times where you went out of your comfort zone and did something, or maybe a coach or somebody pushed you out of your comfort zone and did something, is the time you grew the most. I know for me it is, even though I seem to totally love my comfort zone, for me it's always been the best thing for me. So yeah, it's a nasty trick. And it's easy for me to lose my awareness and fall right back into it. And those are things I just don't understand, but man, it's like a cold day and you just want to be comfortable and warm. That's me. Frankie, we got half a minute.
Comfort is death.
Yeah, comfort's
Comfort
death.
is, you should be running away from that. Me too. I have the same poison. Opposite of growth, opposite of freedom, opposite of almost everything. You don't take a chance. You got to take a chance. Got to take a risk. Got to jump. And so in my early part of my life, I used to just do some crazy stuff, I've never did a marathon. Let me do that. Let me see what that's like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 26
And we get
miles.
obsessed doing that.
Yeah. I've never jumped out of an airplane before. What is that
And
like?
I never will.
Yeah. You don't know until you try, and
That's
the
true.
doubt and the fear that's built behind the comfort thing is it's like something like an anti-man thing. You'd just be like a scared little boy, So I kind of like trying new things just to try, get hurt so that I can see what happens out of it. It's usually fun. So
Yeah, most of the time it's been nothing. It's been very simple. You stumble a little bit at first, just like with anything new, but it's not that big of a deal. Last one. Who was it? Young man with the blue button-up shirt.
I noticed that the vices temporarily numb the fear, and then the thoughts
Yeah.
think that we're in a sense of control. I'll give you an example. For example, two basic examples: exercising and cleaning the house. So we think we're comfortable cleaning the house or going to the gym or going for a walk, but every single time we go for a walk, go to a gym, or clean the house, we have our AirPods in playing music, or we're chewing on some gum. We're doing some sort of vice. We think we're in our comfort zone doing the exercising or doing the cleaning, but in reality, we're depending on that vice in order to do those things.
Yeah.
And this can be music, gum. This is my experience. That's what it's been like, depending on music when I'm at work or exercising or cleaning the house or chewing gum while I'm driving or stuff like that.
I think that's totally true, and it was one of my next things. Unfortunately, I ran out of time, but basically, I was going to say, just the fact that I am going into my head and trying to be in a comfort zone. I don't know how exactly to say it. I know for me, I like to be comfortable so much that I'm there as much as I can possibly be throughout the day. To a fault, right? Because I'm supposed to be aware. But you can't be aware and always in a comfort zone too. It just, at least I haven't been able to. So the fact that I love my comfort zone, I think it has something to do with with what you just mentioned. Me trying to put in music when I'm working out. I don't do that necessarily, but I'm looking at everything, and in my head I'm talking about everything, right? Or I'm driving down the street and I'm talking about everything. So I'm not aware, and I think that literally drives me to my comfort zone.
I noticed that because, like, for example, when I'm driving, it's either chew gum, I'm playing music, and if there's no music or no gum, I end up talking to myself.
Yeah.
So there's never that moment of silence when I'm driving. Most of the, like, probably 95% of the time, there's not that sense of silence when I'm doing that basic task of just driving home.
Right. For me, of anything. Every once in a while I see myself aware, and then in my head, just this quick. It's very strange, but that's the way my life is. I'll be aware and then unaware. And then aware and then unaware. So it's like I'm totally I don't know. Well, I guess I got to go. It's a little over. I appreciate you listening to me. Jesse's coming in just a moment. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot my thing. Hey, y'all.
Good morning, Jesse.
That was very good with that. I was listening in the back. I was surprised. I had to tell him to sit up. He was all like this. You know how black people like to lay down? Yeah. But that was very good about fear. Absolutely. Y'all don't want to come closer or anything? Y'all, how about moving out of your comfort zone? Nobody want to do it? One alpha male. Everybody else beta. So, how's everybody? Merry Christmas, by the way. Yeah, Merry Christmas. The young lady, you don't want to come sit with other people? You like white people? Nice. Doesn't that feel better? All right. Very good talk, though. Very nice, man. And I know that he's right. He's so in his comfort zone, he's lazy. But yeah, he's not lazy. He'll get up and do what he got to do, but that's it. And he go back to his comfort zone. Amazing. But any questions about anything? Oh, good. Wow. 3 live people. I saw that hand first, and then here and here.
Yes. I have a question about the comfort zone. So if that's not something that we want, then when will there be a limit to satisfaction?
When you have no comfort zone at all.
But shouldn't you strive for something, like want something better?
Yes, you should strive not to have a comfort zone. Amazing. So I have on normally I don't wear t-shirts to church, but I have on my t-shirts that says, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Remind you to stay with it. And to sell some shirts too. But to remind you to stay with it, because I know people who, they get on this journey and it does get rough. It gets rough, and the devil is screaming inside of you, how long is this gonna last? This is so hard, where would it end? And you think that's you screaming? It's really the spirit of evil. And some people get off and they catch hell. When you go back into hell, it's double trouble. Or some people allow their friends or the crowd to pull them off, take them off the journey. Why are you doing that? You don't need to be doing that. That person knows what you're talking about. And you be doing fine, but someone can talk you out of it. And you get off, not knowing that that person is evil, and they want you to be as miserable as they are. And they get a thrill from taking you off there. So you got to look out for you. Really, you got to keep your eyes on. Nobody love you. Do y'all know that? Nobody. Your mama don't love you. Your daddy don't love you. Your friend. There is no love in the world, so don't expect they love you when they'll tell you that. There is no love. Your wife don't love you. Your husband don't love you. Your cat don't love you. Your dog. You just think that the dog loves you because you have dog love, and you think what the dog is feeling what you're feeling. Well, anyway, what was I? Right here.
I have a question about praying without ceasing.
Yes.
And if it's connected, which I think it is, but I just want to clarify its connection to being present. Because I noticed, I might have pointed this out before, but I really noticed it this week. It seems like all the bad things, and not even necessarily the worst things in the world, but just things that aren't optimal happen when I'm not present and I didn't pray. Like, should I have said a prayer before I went into that post office this week type of thing?
Should you have said a prayer before you went in?
Yeah, because I was caught unaware.
Well, the moment, what you don't realize, the moment you catch yourself being unaware, you are back in present. You are back. You are in prayer. Prayer just means stay present. So you'll be on the same mindset as God.
Because I got into
because
it with
the silent prayer, that's all it does. It makes you see, it brings you out of the darkness of your thoughts, all those different thoughts.
Right.
And when you're out of them, you're one with the Father. You're one with the light.
So I got into it in the post office a little bit, right? Because I haven't mailed a package in a while.
Right.
And they weren't exactly helpful.
No.
Right. So then it wasn't that
post
big.
office is bad.
Okay, so I don't have to explain all the
It's
little
horrible.
details. So it was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I realized as I was leaving, I'm like, man, I didn't even need to go into all that. Because I was a little, like, actually mad. But then it bothered me that I was mad because I should have known I was walking into a buzzsaw. I hadn't mailed a package in a while, and I had questions, which is probably the worst thing you can do at that place, is ask questions.
Yeah. You are not allowed to ask a question.
Well, no,
Only one question, can I mail this letter?
I think that they loved my question because it gave them an opportunity to say all that other stuff that had nothing to do with me, and I knew it. But then I felt bad when I was driving away. I'm like, because there was people in line smirking at me. Like, the way I read it, and I could be wrong, is like, you dummy, you fell for it. You fell for it. You let the post office person have their way with you.
Yeah.
You know? And I was driving away thinking, like, man, I'm not doing really well with this thing. You know, I'm still getting mad over little stuff. Little stuff. It shouldn't even bother me at all. I should have gone in there, and as soon as they said dumb stuff, I should have probably even laughed. Not on purpose to make a show, but in my head, like, this is funny. I knew this was going to happen. But I actually got mad, like, in my head. So if I would have said, okay, here's the DMV for another example, another frustrating place. I already know. Oh, man. I already know how this is going to go. So if I
all over the place now.
Yeah, any of the, let's just say across the board, any government agency that you have to go to.
Yeah.
Or any company nowadays. A restaurant is bad. If I say the prayer knowing, okay, this could happen.
Can y'all turn that air off, or is it just me? Anybody cold? Oh, it's that fan. Turn that fan on. What the? Okay, go ahead.
So if I say the silent prayer before I go into these things knowing, do you think that will help, or is that just?
Really good question. Unless you want to respond to it first, and this young man want to respond to it. How should he have dealt with the situation in the post office?
Well, he just had a different question, though. He said, should he have prayed before going into the...
Yes. No, okay.
Do you want me to answer his question?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Whichever one you want to respond to.
I don't think you need to necessarily pray before, or I don't think he needed to pray before going into the post office. Had he been aware, like you said. By prayer, did you mean like do the silent prayer before you went in?
Where's the mic? Oh.
Kind of, because, okay, this was related to staying present, because whenever you're present, it doesn't matter if you're at the post office or somewhere where you expect everything to go well.
Right.
If you're constantly in prayer, is that what pulls you into being aware? Because when I am aware and I see things coming at me, it's so much easier. But when I'm tired and I should have stopped and got a coffee first, and then I get in this line, that's when it comes at me. And I'm saying, like, knowing where I'm at, okay, I need to pray, and then the prayer will get me into
It's not knowing where I'm at, it's knowing where I am.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I'll pray for better
You know
grammar,
right,
too.
James? Knowing where I'm at.
Sorry.
Where I am, tell us you're at.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right?
I do.
Okay. So that's kind of the question I had, is
Right.
like,
It really is a good question. It really is.
okay.
Is it a little clearer for you?
Not really. The only thing that I can respond with is in my own life, when I'm caught off guard, it's simply because I hadn't been paying attention.
Right.
And so I don't know if I wasn't paying attention. Before going to the post office, I was already kind of setting myself up for that. But the only thing that I can say is, well, there really isn't much. If I'm in his position and I'm not paying attention, then the interaction at the post office, I would have been walking in with a setup. I don't know.
Okay.
Can I?
Yes.
I think I can clarify this. So
Okay.
the reason why I was saying, because it says in the Bible, right, pray without ceasing.
Right.
You talk about staying present.
Right.
So what I'm saying, are these related? Because, okay, that's.
Absolutely.
Oh, if they're related, then yes.
Because if you pray without ceasing,
That
it
wouldn't-
means he is present.
That wouldn't have happened.
It only means you are aware all the time. You're not going unconscious.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah, because
Right.
I feel bad when I'm rude to people, even if they're rude to me.
Are you rude sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
But not, and I don't know even if this makes a difference, but never like at first, or if I do, it's not intentional. But once somebody is rude to me, I try my best, but it's not always,
Oh, okay.
sometimes I
The
might
mama
ask
comes
somebody-
out.
I'm sorry?
The mama comes out as soon as they.
Yeah, you put it that way, that'll help me stop doing it, for
It
sure.
is mama.
Yeah, because that's not what
It's
I'm trying to
definitely
do.
mama. Because men don't act that way.
Exactly, and that helps.
Any man that has anger is a mama. He is a pure woman.
Yeah.
So if you notice, when men are mad, they sound like a woman, they act like a woman.
Oh, yeah.
They're carrying on like a woman.
Yeah.
They're afraid like a woman. So it is mama.
I mean, that's why I felt bad when I drove away, because I didn't have to say anything at all.
Yeah.
Could have just sat back and let them do their thing.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's what I hate when I respond poorly. It's not what I'm
Oh,
trying to do.
okay.
I don't want to be rude. That's the,
You don't have to be either.
don't want to either.
And you don't have to.
That's a fact.
I'm sorry?
I agree with you.
Yeah. He wanted to tell us, how would you have dealt, were you done, Alyssa?
I had a
Yeah.
quick question about
Right.
what he just said.
Go ahead.
So my question is then, he said he didn't want to, if we respond in rudeness, let's say somebody's rude to us and we respond back,
Yes.
are we simply responding back because we want to, instead of not saying anything?
Right. You're responding because you want to. You don't have to respond.
That was my
Yeah.
assumption.
You really want to. Let me just hear first. So you walked into the post office, you're feeling good, and you finally gotten away from your wife for the morning. 'Cause she was on your nerve all day.
I do love the post office, by the way. So.
You what?
I love the post office.
Oh, you do? See? That's better than being home, huh? Now, when you love the post office, you know you're miserable at home. So you walk into the post office, some angry black woman waiting at the window, and she dare you to ask 2 questions. How do you deal with that? How would you have dealt with that? Or how do you deal with it?
Well, it could be very triggering. I know because I've been a customer at the DMV and everything, and you just feel like you're being attacked. So, and I think you just have to deal with it and move on.
Deal with it how?
Well, just try to do what they ask of you, and they say, "Hey, you need this form." Well, then you just do it, and
But
don't
how
take
about
it
when they
personal.
say, you go over there and get that form, and when you're done, come back to the window.
Yeah. Well, and then
And
I
you
do want to
wanna
share
ask
too.
them,
I
well,
have
how
to.
much it
I have to tell
cost?
everyone I work at the DMV, so it was funny you called on me. But
So
I
you're
do. There's
one
a
of
story.
them.
Yeah, but okay. So to respond to that though, from the employee perspective, there's a story I always share with my coworkers. Like it comes up all the time, and I'm always telling them this story because I'm not perfect. I get stressed out. I get annoyed with customers, but I think I do have a reputation at work of being not fighting with customers as much as other of my coworkers do. So when I do get stressed out, and I don't like feeling that way, I always tell my coworkers this story of a time I went to the post office, and it was a big long line, and we were getting our passports. So we were holding up the line because it was me, my wife, and her mother. And we were all three getting our passports, and it was a big long line behind us, and there was only one line to serve all the different transactions, and there was only one employee working. And so the whole time I was watching the employee, and he was just calm as can be. He wasn't rude, but he also wasn't making small talk. He was just doing the job.
Right.
Not slowly, but also he wasn't running around, getting stressed out, getting an attitude. He was just quietly doing the job, one person at a time, because he can't change the fact that he was the only one working. I'm sure he would prefer to have another employee, but he was just dealing with the situation he was in. And so when I get stressed out at work, I tell my coworkers that story, and I say, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect, but I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that guy at my job, and just, at the DMV, we would love to change things, but everything is state protocol, so we have no power to change the situation.
And so are you like that guy now?
Not always, but I think maybe a certain percentage of the time I am, but there's times I'm not, and then I try to remember that story and be more like that little
So
by little.
sometimes you're not like that guy.
Yeah,
And
sometimes
so are you
I'm
at
not.
window A, B, C, or D?
I'm sorry?
Which window are you at? A, B, C, or D?
Well, they're numbered. It's 1 through 20. So.
Which one are you at?
Well, we rotate, so.
I'm gonna have to make sure I don't come to your window. They're gonna say, next in line window 3, please.
Mhm.
I'm gonna look over and see if it's you or not. Thank you, man. When people are in church and on the cell phone, what's going on? When you're in church and you're on your cell phone like this, are you paying attention to the church or the cell phone?
The latter.
The latter?
Your cell phone.
Your cell phone?
Yes.
Isn't that
Because-
amazing?
Yes.
Are you that addicted to the cell phone that you can't put it down for church?
Unfortunately, we're addicted to any form of technology.
Amazing. So, do you have your hand for what he asked or something else?
I think his question was kind of answered.
Oh, okay. Joel, real short, what was the best way to deal with that situation at the post office?
Yeah, well, the first thing is that the judgment, well, for one, being aware before you go in, right? But the first thing, there was a judgment about how the person reacted, the worker. But it was enough for you just to see that was a judgment, but then there was another judgment about how you reacted. So it's still coming back down to judgment, and I guess the point is to just be aware that you're judging opposed to trying to prevent it or stop it, but just be aware that it is. Because it's still the same thing, it's still the same voice saying, you're wrong for doing this, and then the same voice also saying, she better not disrespect me. It's all the same thing. So even if you now feel guilty about doing it, it's still judgment. So delete the opinion.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna make some enemies because I'm gonna defend the postal workers on this one. I go to the post office every day
What
for
a
work.
beta.
I go every day for work and ask them lots of questions, and they always give their little grumpy face, and then I give a little grumpy face back, and then we laugh about the grumpy face. And I go in and we laugh all the time. They're like super friendly to me. And
So you go in there laughing?
yeah.
Oh, well, no wonder.
And
He's
then I
already
notice
kissing
everyone else gets really
feet.
grumpy about the fact that I'm smiling and asking them how their day is.
Right.
And I realize that you guys are all the postal workers. You bring your grumpiness in with your dumb questions. You feel all bad about your dumb questions, and they're just giving you exactly what you are.
I didn't give any of the details of how it went down, though.
Oh, you did?
No, I did not.
Oh.
I never gave the details of the whole thing, so we don't actually know what happened.
Oh, okay. It was worse than what you said.
No, I mean, his thing, he said, I'm going to make some enemies here because I'm going to defend the post workers. I think it's great that he said that because most of the time he's probably right, but he doesn't know my situation, so
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
his enemy. I think,
I got you.
you know,
Okay.
right on.
Yes. You had a question about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened?
Oh. No, don't be nosy.
In like the simplest of terms.
No, it's too long of a story.
Okay, we can move on.
He called him a name and walked away.
Amazing. What did you call him?
No, I'm
We can
just
talk
saying.
after. I'm curious.
Yes, Nick. How would you have dealt with that? Or what's the best way to deal with that?
Well,
So Nick is the anchor baby of the Anchor Baby show, and Hake is the Hake. And so now there's a fight going on as to who has the best hair.
Jesse started this.
They're fighting over
Jesse
that
just wants to see blood
on the
sports.
show. Somebody told Hake for 30 years, Hake had the best hair. And then Nick came along, now they're saying he has the best hair. And now
Jesse
they're
saying
fighting
that.
over that. Isn't that amazing?
Just throw us in a cage already.
What?
Just throw us in a cage already.
Yeah.
Cage match.
So how would you have dealt with that?
Well, I definitely wouldn't have told myself in my head about anything about respect. I know a little bit about you. You don't like being disrespected. You gotta let yourself be disrespected, and it's really hard to say what to do exactly because it's really dynamic. It's in the moment. Like maybe you gotta ask another question, or maybe you gotta shut up and walk away. But you definitely will know if you calm down, and you won't be calm if you care about being respected.
Okay. To add to this, here's what I want you to try. Give it a good try. The next time you're in any situation, post office, a bank, and the worker is nasty and they make you feel like you're imposing on them, they're not smiling or whatever, or even if they are smiling, and you feel the fear of having to deal with that person, and you're now getting mad because of the way that they're dealing with you, let yourself feel that. You want to feel that. Feel it, even if you feel like you're gonna fall out due to fear, you're shaking in your boots. But you stand there, you ask the first question, the second question, you ask for what you need, right? And even if they're not friendly and you feel this fear, you don't know if they're gonna go off on you or what's gonna happen, but you ask anyway, and I've tested this so many times now, it's amazing. Because everything that you're feeling is inside of you. It's not in that other person. Right. They're feeling whatever they're feeling, but you need to feel this disrespect and all that kind of stuff. Right. And you're going to find, if you go through it and none of those things were you at all, there is no you to be disrespected at all. There's no you to feel bad. There's no you to have fear, But you won't know that until you go through it and then let God take those demons away from you. Because those are the demons that are overreacting, and they're telling you, oh, these people are disrespecting you. They don't look at how they're treating you. Look what they're saying to you. But you don't know that it's not happening to you. Right. And so you need to go through it, do nothing about it, shaking your boot. You still look at them and ask for what you want, even though you're afraid. And I promise you, that old nature will disappear. It's a false nature. It's not happening to you at all. But it's another opportunity for you to overcome the fallen state. Right. That's all that's happening. And so, but when you get in the car, it's going to tell you, they disrespected you, and everybody looking and all that. Who is there to be disrespected? Who were they disrespecting?
I mean, so I'm not going to get into the details, but it wasn't so much a disrespect. It was I was getting annoyed.
Right, but who was getting annoyed?
Exactly.
No, that was a question.
No, I understand. I cut to the chase. That's a good point.
And what's the point?
Is that there is no me to even get either disrespected or annoyed or any of the negative emotions.
And so why do you even say that they were disrespecting me?
Well, I didn't.
Oh, what did you say about disrespect?
That was Nick was talking about disrespect.
Oh, what did you say about it? Did you feel that you had been disrespected?
I was just getting annoyed because they weren't clear.
And why were
like,
you?
Can I get a straight answer? Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
But
then I clarified.
Right, even in that, you stand there and ask, hey, I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, I did, but the problem is that I was rude about it, and that's what I didn't like.
Right.
I was a little loud about it. I didn't curse or anything dramatic, although I did yell at a person in line.
And the only reason you were loud because your ego was affected and you thought it was you.
Well, the person in line got involved, so I said, why don't you mind your business and let me get this done, and I can get out of here, and everybody can be happy.
So you fell for the trick.
I did.
And you missed the opportunity to overcome that false nature.
And that's why I was upset when I left. I'm like, man, everybody's looking at me through the glass, like, look at that guy. There's the bad guy.
But even when you got in your car and realized what happened, you working on yourself, you would have realized, wow, I missed that moment to overcome. But there is no you for any of that stuff. It's all fake.
That's
None
great.
of those even if the whole crowd in the post office looking at you, calling you idiot, get out of the line, idiot. You've been there too long. You still stay calm and take care of your business and notice what you're thinking and how you're feeling about the whole crowd in the room.
Yeah.
What they think. Because it's not happening to you.
I just felt like I made everybody upset when I yelled at the guy.
You had nothing to do with them. They're getting upset. Because you're not responsible for someone else's action. That's inside of them.
There was like a couple of pearl clutching.
It doesn't matter if Queen Elizabeth.
She was in line and she was clutching the pearls.
Right. But still, their action and their life should not affect you at all.
100%, and I know all this. That's why when I was driving away, I was like, man, I fell for it again.
Right.
That's what I was upset about. I wasn't upset even about all the DMV
Right.
or whatever, the post office stuff. I was upset about the fact that I couldn't just, because I was doing all right until that other customer piped up, and then I could have just ignored them, but I didn't. I had to say something.
You went unconscious. That's all that happened.
Yeah, and I felt it.
You went unconscious. Yeah, and that's why you felt it, because you were back in darkness.
Yeah.
So don't judge yourself for that. Just realize I went unconscious. And when it happens again, and it will, you just be aware. That's all.
Right on.
Because there is no you. All that was just working inside of you, and what they were doing was inside of them. Devils fighting devils.
Yeah.
So just practice being present, that's all.
Silent prayer.
Yeah, silent prayer, and then during the day, when you're about, stay with your body. All right?
All right.
Amazing. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
So be glad when those situations happen instead of regretting it. Don't regret it. Because you want to see how much hell in you, and there's a whole lot of evil hell inside of all human beings. And those opportunities come so you can see what's left inside of you. It's all about you, overcoming that. All right?
Yes.
I remember someone was harassing me once, and they kept like, go away, leave me alone. And they wouldn't leave me alone. And they were like, oh, I love you. I said, I hate you. And then they went away. Because I didn't really hate them. But they went away. They're like, you're not supposed to tell people you're a preacher. I said, that's why I'm telling you I hate you. You can consciously say things. It's when you're unconscious where the problem is.
Right.
You want to be conscious. When you're conscious, it doesn't affect words or nothing, or no one can affect you.
Yeah.
It's only when you go unconscious. Any question about that?
No, I think I'm clear now.
Right on. Yes, sir. You had your hand, right?
I don't have any questions anymore.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
I do want to say one thing. Are you about to get started?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought we were already started. What the?
Yeah. I called you on the show. My name is Elijah.
Okay.
And I called you Punchy. How you doing today?
All is well.
All is well.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Right on.
What is the topic of today?
We're about to get to it now. I thought we had already going. I'm a day late, $1 short. Thank you. I want to ask, how many people are aware that this black woman from North Carolina, I guess, the Duke lacrosse woman who accused those men of raping her, did y'all see that story in the news recently? Who don't know about it? Oh, a whole bunch of people don't know about it. Oh, okay. James, tell them about the story. Do you remember the details?
Somewhat.
Okay.
So back in the early 2000s, I believe, there was a white Duke lacrosse team. Lacrosse is a sport. And there was this woman down from the South who was attending college, and she was a stripper dancer. And she falsely accused this team of raping her, gang raping her, I believe. And Al Sharpton and all these blacks jumped on it. And they started to charge the team, but the state attorney general eventually, after looking into the evidence, dropped the charges, declaring it was a false accusation. And this was about 20 years ago, I guess. And recently she came out admitting that she had lied about it, completely lied about it. And after everybody already knew. Al Sharpton, I don't think ever apologized for jumping on the thing, but she said that she had lied because she was insecure and wanted validation from the world and not from God.
So she lied on these three guys, white guys, and it wasn't true. It was all over the media, and the blacks and the whites was fighting over the issue, calling it racism and all kinds of things. And these three white guys, because they were really good players, and they lost their reputation and everything. They finally sued them. And the DA that was representing the girl, according to a report, knew that the girl was lying. But because he wanted a reputation as a good lawyer or whatever, he hid the information to prove that showed that the girl was lying, so he lost his license. And then the girl, after lying on the guy, she went and killed her boyfriend. And so she's in jail for killing her boyfriend. You know that's a psycho, right? And so now she's saying, oh, I'm sorry. I lied. They did not rape me at all. I just made it up because I felt insecure. I wanted people to respect me and like me. And she's a Christian now. The Lord told me that I lied. And she's a Christian. What do you think about that? What what do you think about that woman doing that?
She was evil. She was being controlled by evil.
Yeah.
Her thoughts were evil, and she carried out evil acts.
It was pure evil, what she did. And you're right. And now she's talking about she a Christian. And I don't care. You still go to prison. You know what I mean? That's horrible. And the way that the people reacted to it at the time was evil too, because it was the blacks against the whites. It was over a lie. It was even, they assumed right away it was racism, it was this and that, and whatever side you were on. And so the people were fighting one another over a lie. Over a lie. And I say that and want that to be clear because so that you can watch your life, that you don't take sides. If somebody came and said, oh, and during that point, they were telling people, if a woman says she got raped, you shouldn't even question it. Don't ask her why she did it or why it happened. They didn't even want you to question a woman, so everybody was lying. The women were lying all over the place about getting raped, college women and everywhere, right? And so the devil was so clever that he gave the woman that kind of authority that she could just lie and destroy people, and you're not even allowed to question. You couldn't even say, well, why was this slut at a party? You know what I mean? Why was this slut going up and down a pole? They didn't want you to say that. Isn't that amazing? And the people fell for it. And this is what happened. Yes.
No, I also feel like the people that were willing to go the distance with the lie is because it was fulfilling their ego.
Yes. They got the thrill of going along with it.
Yeah.
Not even knowing what the real, why not just say, oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know what the truth is. And have a way to see. You're absolutely right. What a mess, huh? You're out of control more than what you think. You really are. Yes, sir.
So this was back in, I remember it, this is back in 2006.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
what came about with this, when this thing happened, this is when Black Lives Matter happened, and they actually they intimidated the colleges to pass laws that if anything happens to the girl, the guy is automatically guilty, and they started this back then. So any allegations will be taken to the extreme, and so that's what happened back then in 2006, and it was terrible. And it's based on a lie. Everybody jumped on a side.
Well, they were definitely taking one side or the other. Stop taking sides. You don't know what happened. You don't know. You just don't know. It's okay to say, I don't know. And then if you say, I don't know, and if you don't take a side, then the people are going to jump on you for not taking a side. You're going along with it. You're just afraid to say what you think, right? Don't fall for the lie. We're dealing with evil. Do not fall for it. All right? It's okay not to take a side. If your mama come home and she said, your daddy beat me, you can say, oh, that's cool, mama. Why did he beat you this time? Amazing. Any other question? Yes.
Black Lives Matter happened in 2012 to 2014.
I thought that would happen. He was off about that part. Allegedly.
It was like a precursor to Black Lives Matter, you could say, but it wasn't Black Lives
See, he went and lied and sat down like he told the truth. That was allegedly with Frankie stuff. Nice. Thank you, Jay. You deal with some real reporters, the hate news. That's right. The hate news, not the fake news. Did I see another hand? Okay. Yes, sir.
What you just said reminded me of when you're asking us if we would do what Diddy would do.
What?
That if we were better than Diddy because we didn't do the exact same thing that he did, but to a certain degree we
right. Free Diddy.
But it's the same spirit. It just.
Are you going to protest with us, Free Diddy?
I'm down.
You are?
Yeah.
Right on. But make your point, I'm sorry.
No, it was just that. It's the same spirit. It
It's the
just
same spirit.
manifests differently. That's all
Yeah.
it is. But
It's the same
It's the
spirit.
exact same thing. Evil is evil. Doesn't matter whether
It
it's.
doesn't matter, it's the same. The evil that caused that woman to lie is the same evil that's driving you right now. It's the same evil that when Doug was talking about fear. It's the same spirit. God did not give us a spirit of fear, so where did it come from? You're not supposed to have fear. It's the same spirit that when you're married and the husband or the wife want to break up, they want to leave you, and you start crying, no, don't go. That's the same spirit that caused that woman to lie, because if you weren't driven by evil, if the husband or the wife wanted to leave the marriage, you're like, okay, bye. This is okay, I don't need you. Whether it's a man or the woman don't need the man. Okay, bye. But she got to cry and beg and stay. And the more you cry and beg them to stay, the more they want to leave, because now they have control over you. You're begging to stay. Don't beg. If your girlfriend want to leave, ask her, how soon can you get out of here? Really. And if you've given her a ring already, take your ring back and go over to Sears and get your money back. Really. You don't supposed to let her keep the ring. That's your money. Don't let anyone tell you, well, don't take the ring. Yes, you do. What's she going to do with it? She's going to take it and go sell it. Or something like that. Yes, Raymond. And then I want to get to the biblical question.
The lacrosse incident reminds me of what happens when two opponents in judo or jiu-jitsu meet. They believe they control the situation, but if one of them is not aware, their opponent can upset you, and you're at the mercy of that opponent. It's almost like the similar case in the lacrosse incident. It only takes a reaction, an action to force a counter reaction, and people are at the mercy of that evil.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time you overreact to any situation, you're one with the devil. The devil's winning. Every time. I don't care what you're doing in life. Every time you overreact to any given situation, the devil's winning. The one thing I love about Christ and some of the other guys in the Bible, they never reacted to the devil. Some did, but some didn't. And those who did not overreact to the devil, they won the war, the battle, and their name would change to a different name, because they were not betas anymore. You are not supposed to be, and like the post office situation, you are not supposed to be overreacting no matter what is happening around you. If the whole world is yelling at you, get out of the line. You've been there too long. Let them yell, you hear the noise behind you, and it's just noise, and it has nothing to do with you. It's just screaming demons inside of you. It has nothing to do with you. But you think it does because you're in your head and you're feeling the pain and you think it's happening to you. So you overreact and the devil wins. The best way and the only way to defeat evil is not to overreact to it, period. About anything. Anything. I'm saying this just because it's going to air next week. I was a guest on Roseanne Barr show, and she asked me about that overreaction thing. Oh, reputation. She said, well, what about if I'm going to lose my reputation? I'm like, you ain't got no reputation. Your reputation is another word in your mind. Nobody care about your reputation. They'll say, oh, I love your reputation. They'll say it in front of you, and then they'll talk about you behind your back. They don't care about it's only your mind you think of reputation. Reputation is just a word with no value. It's just a word. It has no meaning. But in your mind, you think it does. Oh, I have a good reputation. No, you don't. Somebody talking about you. Somebody hates you. And they act like they like you as long as you got something they want. As soon as they get that, your reputation is down the drain. So you got to die from all this stuff. You got to die from the ego. It's all lies. You want to be free. You want to be one. You want to be whole. You want to be a whole person. And when you're a whole person, you're not subject to the world at all. Zero. You're in the world, but not of it. But you got to be a whole person. And so you got to work on yourself so this old fake person can die. You got to be whole. Yes, sir. Did you have your hand?
Oh, it was a question about, you said something about don't overreact to the devil, and if you don't, those people change their name?
Yeah, there was some, I was reading the other night, there were a couple guys who defeated the devil, and God changed their names. And I'd like to get more on that. It was interesting, very interesting. Yes.
Also, just to react to the reputation thing, about a year ago, somebody spread all kinds of crazy stuff, and I went through that exact same thing. It was all kinds of in a tizzy about my reputation, how the whole community thinks I'm this terrible person.
Yeah.
Just like you said, within a month, same people who could get something out of me were coming back around telling me how wonderful I am. And then the same people who never talked to me, just no difference. It was
Yeah.
life
Nobody
just kept
care
on
about your
going.
reputation. They lie when they say they care about your reputation. Really, it's a made-up word. It's not even real. Just think, what is a reputation? It has no meaning. But you think it does. It just feels good to have a reputation. It feels good to be like, to say you're a Christian. You ain't no Christian. It's just a word. But anyway, I want to deal with the biblical question, and then I have something I want to read to you. What is the biblical question for last week?
For this week? For last week?
Yeah, today is a brand new week, I think. Sunday, a new day, right? New week.
I don't know what it was last week.
You don't know what it was last week? Who knows what it was last week? Right here. What was the biblical question last week?
It was, did you find God or God did find you? Or did God find you?
Yeah, and you say?
And I was thinking about it, and I'm not sure. But I think if I need to choose, God find me.
So what now?
If I need to choose, I'm not sure, but if I need to choose, I say that God found me.
So you're taking a guess at it?
I try to look at it as best as I can. It's a deep question. It brings you...
Did you know that Jews knew how to make sweet potato pies?
Yeah, of course. It's kosher.
What?
As long as it's kosher without any...
Kosher?
Kosher.
What's a kosher sweet potato
Kosher
pie?
is no lard, no seafood.
What?
You ask what's kosher.
What's a kosher sweet...
Sweet potato is just sweet potato.
When Roseanne invited me over, she made some sweet potato pie. She like, what kind of pie you like? I said, sweet potato. She named all these Jew pies. I'm like, I don't want any of those. And so she said, what you like? And she made three sweet potato pie. And it was so good. I'm like, wow, I didn't know a Jew could make a sweet potato pie. She like, I used to hang around with black people.
Roseanne.
And so what's a kosher sweet potato pie?
No, I'm saying as long as it's kosher, we can make it. So sweet potato is just sweet potato without any... It doesn't violate the Jewish rules of kosher.
So did they take the sweet potato out of it?
No, it's just a sweet potato as it is as long as it doesn't touch any non-kosher stuff. It's. I don't see any reason why Jew cannot make it sweet potato. It's just not in a. It's just yeah, whatever. Yeah.
What?
It's not common I think it's more in America. This sweet
Right.
potato yams
I was
pie.
shocked when she told me she was making some sweet potato pie. And it was so good. I brought a whole one back to the office, and before the end of the day, it was a 2-piece left. You got picked out on it. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
I love the Jews.
Making food. Good at pastries. Pastry. Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, Did God find you, or you found him?
So I say God find me. When I decided, I tried to look at it as much as I can, and I didn't get to like a cut clear, so like I didn't see exactly or if God find me or I found him. I know for sure that I was seeking. There was time I was seeking.
Right.
And but yeah, that's it's kind of. I'm not sure about the.
Oh, okay. All right. The young lady want to respond, and way in the back, the guy and the other guy, they're dying. Yes. Did God find you, or you found God?
I can't answer that question.
You cannot? Oh, okay. What a mess. The young man in the back, yeah, the black one. Did God find you, or did you find God? This is such a good question, too.
So I think just by being born, God already found us, but we get lost and then we find our way back to Him.
And so, did God find you, or you found God?
I think it's both.
It's both?
Yep.
Meaning what?
He found you when you were born, like as in when He created you, He already accepted you, but because we were in a fallen state per se, we get lost and we find our way back to Him. So like the guy in the front said, we have to seek God to find Him.
Okay.
But end of the day, He's already found you. It's just, are you going to return back to Him or not?
Okay. Amazing. The young man with all the hair on the head, right here, in the black shirt, the skinhead. Did God find you, or did you find God?
I believe I found God, not God found me. Because I noticed, like, when it comes to the false identities and the vices, God would just let me stay there.
Yeah.
And then I have to when I uncover these false identities and realize, like, it's separate from me, I'm returning to God. Like, God just leaves me in that fallen state until I'm able to overcome the false identities.
Okay. Interesting. How old are you?
24.
And so at 24, what is it like working on yourself? Paying attention to you and what's going on. What is that like for you?
I noticed I get caught up in the future a lot. So, for example, this trip, for example, 2 weeks before, I would plan the trip, and then I didn't think about it for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then 5 days before, I'm thinking about all the places I'm going to go to and just get stuck in the imagination. Every little thing I think of, I note it. And I was doing good, like that week and a half, just letting it pass. I planned the trip, let it pass by. Then the last 5 days, I get caught up in the imagination and know every little detail, every little thing for the trip. And I know that's not right.
Right on, man. Where you from?
Northern California.
Oh, right on. Welcome. This your first time here?
Second time.
Oh, right on. Okay. So you're saying that God found you, or you found God?
I found God.
Okay. How about you? Right next to you. What's your name?
I'm gonna be completely honest. He had, a couple days ago he had a sore throat and he hasn't said a single word today. I'm completely honest.
Okay. He can't speak.
It's weird timing, but yesterday, like from the point early this morning, he hasn't said a single word.
Really?
I promise you. Yeah.
Okay. Does he know I'm talking to him at least?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He can shake his head yes or no if you have a question. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to force him if he's
I know.
Yeah. Okay. The old guy behind you. Did God find you, or did you find God?
Gosh, that's a tough one. Did God find me, or I found God? I think I found God. And I guess He found me. I don't know exactly. I mean, He sure pulled a number on me in the last little while. So.
He pulled. What do you mean?
I mean, I've gone since April of 2023, I've hit rock bottom 2 or 3 times, and each time I've bounced back, much to my surprise. And I'm going, I guess God has a plan, because why did I survive? Why can I still walk? Why can I not a quadriplegic?
You even have a girlfriend now, right?
Yeah, I'm going to see her tomorrow.
And you're like 60 and she's 80 or something.
No, she's like, how old is she? She's like 2 years older than me.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm dating an older woman. Yeah, I'm Alex, by the way. But yeah, she's pretty cool and just.
But so do you believe God found you or you found God?
I believe I found God, but God must have this master plan for me, because
why do you believe you found God?
Because if you're not looking, nothing improves. Right? So you have to, since April of 2023, I've hit rock bottom 3 times very badly. And each time I've bounced back. And each time I was at rock bottom, I never thought I'd get out of it, except for like a year later. And it actually turned out less. And then I'm like, God, what are you doing? Is this hitting me? It's not normal to hit rock bottom 3 times in 18 months, right? It's not normal. I was like, he must have a master plan, because right now I'm doing well, and I'm going, okay, this is bizarre. I mean, and I my brother's like, wow, you can walk. And actually I'm talking to my son now. Believe it or not, we went for Indian food in Santa Clarita.
So you're talking to your son now?
Yeah.
Don't show any weakness.
No, he doesn't like cat terms, you know what I mean.
What?
The P word.
What? Don't say it.
I'm not saying it, but the cat term, like.
Okay. But just don't show weakness and continue to work on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, my brother and a friend of his, Michael, they butted in and tried to get. They went out with Hunter for, what do you call it?
Make a long story short, because of time.
Yeah, they went out with him to go out to Santa Monica Beach, and they took him out for dinner.
We don't need to know all the details.
Yeah, anyway, but whatever.
So did God find you, or you found God?
I found God because...
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What a mess. Don't you hate it when you talk to people, they gotta tell you all the details? I went down the road, it was raining, and then it was, you're like, where you been? Instead of just saying, I went to the store, they said, well, I got up this morning and I got dressed, and I went down the road, and then I came back, and it was raining over yonder, and blah, blah, blah. Instead of going right to the point. Anybody ever ready to that? I have a friend like that. I hate talking to him. Did God find you, or did you find God?
I found God.
And why do you say that?
Because I was looking for him.
You were looking for him? Explain.
I was just hungry for him, and we found him.
And how do you know you found him?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel it, I guess.
Okay. I mean, and is your life getting better now?
Oh, yeah.
In what way?
Oh, because of God and with your help.
You doing the silent prayer and everything?
Sometimes, yeah.
Why not all the time?
Why not all the time? 'Cause for the most part, I'm doing good most of the time.
So that's why you're not doing the prayer?
No, that's not why. But yeah, I don't always do it.
Oh, okay. Amazing. How about you in the hat? Did God find you, or did you find God?
Nah, God's still looking for me.
He hasn't found you yet?
No. He's searching.
He is? He's trying to find you?
He's trying.
And why don't you let him find you?
because I love my misery.
Yeah, that's true. You love your hell.
I love my hell.
Really? And why do you love your hell?
Makes the day go by faster.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I understand, man.
Yep.
Amazing, huh?
Amazing.
Okay. Well, you have a right to love your hell and stay there.
Everybody has a right.
Right.
To stay in their misery.
Yep. Amazing. Thank you. Doug, did God find you or you found God?
I'm going to say he found me.
And why you say that?
Because one thing I've always heard is of myself I can do nothing. And if inherently I'm evil, people are evil, I don't see like that I could find him. I don't even know that I would be looking necessarily, right?
Right.
So I'm going to say he found me.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Right here in the black, and this man, young man. Did God find you or you found God?
It's an amazing question, but I think I'm gonna leave this one blank. I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
But for the sake of fellowship, I just wanted to add something to it.
Yes.
I think he was always there. I don't know about who found who, but I'm pretty sure I turned my back on him for a minute. So that's that.
Okay. Amazing. Right here. Did God find you or you found God?
I think for me was I think the gentleman over there, not the one that told a whole story. The other,
You
the ones
ask him
before.
where he been, he tell you where he going.
Yeah, so I think they explained it perfectly. It's God found us, but then we get so lost.
No, you're talking about you. Did
Yeah,
God?
so that's what I'm saying. So for me, I feel like God found me, but that's the season I'm in right now, right? Because I was seeking, and I feel like once I feel like he found me by me seeking, I saw the signs that he found me, right?
Oh, okay.
So because of that, I acknowledged it, and I'm just going with it. And that's something that I'm going by blind faith, right?
How old are you?
I'm 29.
And what is it like being 29 and working on your life?
Amazing.
Amazing? In what way?
Just for me, it's the experience that I've had already, right? So I know I can do more and be better.
Okay.
But that's knowing that he found me, and I was like, okay, now what am I gonna do with that?
Did you forgive your mother?
Huh?
You forgive your mother?
Yes.
You went to her? Did you tell her?
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
They can't hear you all of a sudden.
No.
And why not?
Actually, I did. I did. I did.
You did what?
I forgave my mom.
And did you tell her?
Yes.
And you went to her?
Yes.
And what happened?
Everything turned great. Amazing.
Turned great?
Amazing.
Meaning what?
The relationship we have now with
So you
everyone.
went to her and said what?
I let go of the past and I forgave you for everything. I know we're not perfect. That's it.
And what did she say?
She cried.
And you knew she was lying when she was crying?
I have no idea. That's not for me to care.
When they're crying, they're lying. And when you say y'all have a good relationship now, what do you mean?
Yeah, like I know for her, she probably feels a certain way, like, oh, I'm at peace, you know. But for me, it's like I let go of everything.
Right on.
I have no emotions whatsoever, like towards anything, because I know I did my part. That was me, I'm improving on becoming a better man, right?
Right on.
So, not letting anything affect me, I think, and just like brushing everything away. So.
And the reason I ask because I noticed that young people got it bad now. Things are
Right,
really
yes.
bad for young people.
1000%.
Because they don't even have any examples that they can follow.
Right.
And when I hear young people are truly working on their lives, you're really fortunate because you avoid a lot of pain and misery and fakery and everything.
1000%.
So stay with it, man.
Yes, sir.
Stay with it. Right here. Did God find you or did you find God? Did I ask you already?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure, but I'm leaning one way over the other.
So what now?
I'm leaning one way over the other, but I'm not 100% sure. But I suspect that I think God found me because I wasn't necessarily looking for God specifically, but
You were not looking for him?
not specifically, no.
Oh, okay.
But he kind of came out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah?
A little bit. Well, by that I mean like he kind of like showed me the truth. And
okay.
for me, it was like he showed me my own wickedness. And that kind of opened the door for
What is it
everything
like
else.
seeing how evil you are?
Well, taking a peek at my own misery is it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, anytime I notice something that might not be the prettiest thing to look at,
Yeah.
like the immediate reaction that I have is like gratitude, really. So, and I can't, it's such a, it seems like the unnatural response to have from like an outsider looking in. Like
Right.
you see something bad and you like are grateful for it, but that's the only way that I truly feel about it. And
Oh,
that's
okay.
like, I don't know, I have no other words for it than it's cool to see it.
It's amazing to me how evil human beings are. It's mind-blowing. Y'all don't even, and you will if you stay with it, you don't understand the depths of how evil human beings are. I know you hear me saying it, and I'm trying to really express it, but human beings, when God said, do not trust human beings, do not trust an angry person, that's one rule I hope you pay attention to. And it's not just strangers, it's family members, it's relationships, marriageships, everything. Human beings are pure. There's nothing good in human beings. Zero, nothing. Isn't that amazing? And you be like, well, I'm going to look for something good in this person. You're going to be looking until hell freezes over. There is nothing good in none of us. None of us. Human beings are, it's amazing too, how evil human beings are. And look at all the hell in your own personal life, and then look at all the hell that's going on around you. Some hell you never heard of before. How many of you have killed your wife and buried her under the porch? See? Y'all didn't know that? They look like two nice men, huh? They are buried, each one have buried their wives and hid her. And they go to church and they smile. But really, there's no good. And as soon as you can realize that you are no good, when you can truly see that you have anger and that you're no good, then you start to overcome it. You will. That's what it means to confess your sin. That's the only sin you need to confess, is that you're evil. But everybody likes to think of themselves as being good, especially when they read the Bible, they go to church, and they praise the Lord. They really like to think they're good, and some of the worst people on earth. Really. Christians are atheists. They are worse than atheists. They are judged just like that. At the back of an eye, they will judge you. But they'll think that they're good. And I'm telling you this and to encourage you to at least admit to yourself that you're evil. You don't have a responsibility to say it to the world. That's up to you. You just have to admit it in yourself so God can forgive you. You're now, because evil people, they play God. They think they know what they want in life. They think they know who they want to be with. They think they know what they know nothing. So you need to admit it to yourself so you can overcome it. Human beings are evil. Nobody gets along. It's all fake. Isn't that amazing? I know I got some hands about that, but this young man wanted to, did you have any more to say about that? Right here. Did God find you or you found God?
Neither happened because God didn't lose me ever, and also I'm seeking, so I'm continually seeking.
Oh, okay. The young man way in the back had his hand.
No, I think this is more humor, but you might have some competition. There's a sign literally just 2 blocks from here. It says, "Look for the good in everyone." So you might have to take that down or put another sign.
It's a setup.
It's pretty big. It's a
I should put a sign under it that says, "You're not going to find it." You're not going to find it. Joe, did you find God or did God find you?
I think God found me.
You said what now?
I think God found me.
Go ahead.
I don't think I was ever involved with that process because from the earliest memories I know, he was always there. I knew he was always there. And there's times where I wanted to go a different route in my life in adulthood. And he prevented that from happening. And that had nothing to do with me because I wanted to go that direction. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, Frankie. I'm sorry Jay made you look bad.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
You still like him? Don't say the wrong thing around the hate news.
No, I don't like his hair anymore. I like his hair better.
But go ahead. Did God find you or did you find God?
I think I found I'm fine. I found God because I thought I knew God, but that was really the devil that I knew before. So it was my eyes opening me. Yeah.
So you found God?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have Billy. I want just to hear what. Don't y'all want to hear what Billy has to say about this? Yes. Billy is like a genius. He's half white and half black. This young lady, did you answer this already? Why Billy's coming? Did you find God or did God find you?
Because I now know that there was no me, I don't think I was capable of finding God. And I feel like he always knew who I was, so I don't know how he could rediscover me.
Okay.
But it also, I guess, so basically I can't really say one way or the other, but it did, as the service is going on, it kind of reminded me of the prodigal son. When he departs from his home and he returns, but at the same time, like his father was always there. The father was always there.
Yeah.
He just returned back
okay.
to what he stopped identifying, I think, with that false self, and his true nature came when he rediscovered his true nature. He came back home.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe my true nature was looking for something, but I didn't know what it was, and it was a return to the Father.
Okay. Amazing. Yes, sir, with the amazing shirt. Amazing. Did you find God or did God find you?
There was no me to be found. There was no process of finding God. It's just my understanding of God that has changed through my life.
Oh, okay.
Early in my life, I thought God was somebody I had a dialogue with. Now, the way I think of God is, thanks to your teachings, is that, there is no me, and God is, I guess, not judging or love. So in a sense, I have found God just in a new understanding of him.
Okay. Amazing. Yes, Raymond, you had your hand. And then Billy. And then the young man in the white shirt. Yes.
I believe God found me because I don't know how to find God. Now I'm still searching.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Raymond. Yes, Billy. Did you find God? This is my engineer, the one you hear us yelling about in the morning time when he's not around. Billy, did you find God or did God find you?
God found me, I guess.
All right, you can go back in your room now. So you believe that God found you?
I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah,
You know-
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yes, sir. Did God find you, or did you find God?
I think God always knew where I was, but I think He found me because only He's gonna know when you're really ready. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I think He found me, I would have to say.
Interesting. And two more people that want to respond, and three more. Did right here and right here, Nick. Right here. Yeah. Did you find God, or get God find you?
Well, personally, I don't personally think that God finds us. I see it like, well,
How about
God's
you?
there, and then you take
How
it or
about
leave
you?
it.
Did God find you, or did you find God?
Well, I think I have found God and then lost God a few different times, and I'm still searching. So
So you found God and you lost Him?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then hope to find Him again.
You do?
Mhm.
Okay. Right on. Right here, then Hake, and then I gotta move on.
I'll make this.
Did you
I'll
find
make this as
God,
short
or
as
did
possible.
God find you?
I think God found my dad, and then my dad introduced God to me
Oh, okay.
through meditation.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, man. Interesting. Yes, Hake.
I feel like I know the answer intellectually, but I don't really know which one it is.
And what's the intellectual answer?
That God found me.
And why do you believe that?
Well, that's what Christians say, and in the Bible it says that that He chose us, that He chooses us,
Yeah.
and that it doesn't depend on our desire or effort. And I know that, like, I get hung up on the intellectual thing about, well, He's not lost. I'm the one who's lost. But He knows everything. But in the prayer it says you slow down so the truth can catch up to you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think of when God finds you.
Interesting. I didn't, let me ask you, your wife obeying you now? Poor guy. Is she obeying now?
We're working on everything.
Is she obeying you?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
Why not the whole way?
Well, maybe I need to be more clear in how we should be living.
Oh, she want you to make the decisions and stuff?
Well, sometimes I feel like she wants me to, but then other times I feel like I do, and then maybe I'm not clear enough about what I think we should do.
So she want you to make the decisions, and when you do make the decision, she act like she doesn't understand the decision?
Yeah, I think that may be going on.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Do you know she is insane for doing that?
Well, insane. What does it mean?
Crazy.
Yeah, I think, maybe that might be going on.
Do you say, you know what, you crazy. I just told you you're still acting crazy. Do you tell her that?
I have called her crazy.
Oh, good.
Uh-huh. But I must be crazy too then. So.
Why?
Because, we're here, aren't we?
Two crazy people together?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, how you going to lead her if you crazy too?
Well, maybe stop being crazy and then lead and then.
So why don't you stop?
Bring her along.
Yeah, stop. And in about 50 years, she'll come around, and then you'll die.
Yeah. Well, hopefully a bit sooner than that, but maybe in 2 years.
In 2 years?
Yeah,
it
2 or 3
ain't
years.
gonna happen in 2 years. Right. Why are you still acting crazy?
Because I'm crazy?
Right. Poor guy. But anyway, I was thinking about this question, and when I asked the question, I didn't know if I found God or God found me. And I'm like, wow, this is an amazing question. And so I let the week go by, and I listened to what people said, and I watched myself. And what I realized is that I was lost, but I didn't know I was lost. You know what I mean? I knew I had all the same misery that everybody else had. I had fear, and I had doubt, and I didn't know how to deal with women, and I used to be afraid of women. Whenever I would try to correct my girlfriend, I was like, this time I'm gonna get this bitch. But I didn't know bitch was a bad word. I did not know bitch was a bad word. I just thought it meant an angry, wet dog, female dog. But I hear now it's a bad word. And so I would be dealing with these women, and they would be, you know how awful. You know, women are awful. Women can, sorry, Les, but women are a mess, right? I understand now why they found that word. And I was the next time she tried to hurt my feelings and do something, I'm gonna get this bitch. And so the next time I see her, and if she was acting that way, the words would come all the way up really fast because I'm ready to let her have it. And they'd get locked in my throat. And they wouldn't come out. And when they came out, I saw like a little beta. But I didn't know I was lost. I knew I had a problem. I knew there were a problem with me, but I didn't know I was lost. And so finally, I asked God to let me see myself because I realized I didn't really know what was wrong with me, why I was so weak and afraid and had doubt and fear and all that. I didn't know why. I had gone to church. I read the Bible. I paid the tithe and offering. I volunteered in the church, and yet nothing was getting better. And so I finally asked God to let me see because I didn't think of myself as being lost. You know, I wasn't even taught that I was lost, right? So I didn't think of myself as being lost. But the moment I asked, or when I asked to let me see myself, that's when I was able to see. I started to see and understand what was happening with me. And so I would have to say God found me because I was lost in the wilderness and I didn't know my way back home. And he gave me some light so I could find my way back. So I guess I would have to find me. I would have to say he found me by giving me the light to find my way back to him. Because that's what salvation is all about, is returning to the Father. You got to overcome the spirit of the mother, all human beings. You got to overcome the spirit of your mother by forgiving her and forgive your father, and you'll return back. The light will come on when you can admit you're wrong, and then you're guided by the light. So I just knew I had a problem. I couldn't see, and he found me by giving me the light. That makes sense a little bit? Because if I didn't have the light, I would still be lost. If I couldn't see, I would still be lost. And lost people don't know that they're lost until they start seeking, trying to understand themselves. What's wrong with me? Why am I so unhappy? Why do I have fear? Why am I suicidal? Why do I have doubt? You know, why this and why that? Once you start questioning yourself, what's going on with you, the light will come on. And a little light will put you on that straight and narrow road, and it will start to guide you. And it'll get brighter and brighter and brighter. I promise you that. It's going to be amazing how you will be able to see and how it is not to be able to see. The devil doesn't know he cannot see. Like angry people, they don't know they can't see. They don't know they're the devil. The devil does not know he's the devil because he can't see. He absolutely can't see. And he has no relationship with God at all. Zero. At least we have a chance to come back to the Father and have a relationship with him. Have his love, have his light, right? But the devil doesn't have any at all. And that's why the devil is so angry, because he's all evil. And that's why human beings are all evil, because they have the nature of the devil in their heart. So I would have to say that he found me when I started questioning what's wrong with me. Why I'm not free? I said I believe in God, Why don't I have peace? Do you know most people don't believe that you can have peace? The Christians don't believe that you can have peace because they don't have it. And they would say, well, nobody can have peace. What's the person believe in a God that's not going to give you peace? He's going to give you the same hell that you already have. It's like going from one marriage to another one, catching hell. And so I would have to say he found me when I started wondering what was wrong with me and asking him, why can't I speak up? What's wrong with me? Why do I have fear? How come I can't see? And then he shined the light. So that's what's going to happen with you. When you start to know yourself, question yourself, the light will come on. And I'm telling you, I can't make it happen for any of you, but I promise you, you're going to have perfect peace right here on earth. You really will. All the hell will be going on around you, but you will not be a part of the hell. You'll be a part of heaven. It really will change, but you got to stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You got to drop all thoughts. None of those thoughts are yours. When you agree with the thought, you're agreeing with evil. You're agreeing with the devil. Emotional thoughts, angry thoughts, or any of those thoughts. I want to read this to you in closing. James, read what was it, James? Oh, John 3:17, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, John 3:17. Listen closely to this, and we're going to end it. Yes.
I believe this is Jesus speaking.
Yeah.
For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him.
God came not to condemn the world, but to save the world. And you got to stop condemning the world. You got to stop judging the world. They can't see. Really can't see. And then when you stop judging with thought, you got to drop all thoughts of judgment. All thought. You can't judge with your eyes. You can't judge with your words. You can't judge with your little gestures and things, whatever, or your emotions. You were not created to judge the world. Christ didn't judge the world. And when you stop doing that, you're going to have a perfect life in perfect peace in this world. You're going to stop making the stupid mistakes you make. You're going to stop thinking this is the right woman. Women are going to stop thinking this is the right man, or this is the right Christian, or atheist, or Jew, or Gentile. God is not even into the male-female thing. Not at all. He's not into that. But he made male and female for a reason, so we can reproduce, make children, propagate, make children, right? And you should be a male and not a, what you call those things? We cut them off? What? Transgender. You're not a transgender. That's an evil spirit. Those are spirits inside of you. You are a male and you're a female. I don't care. You may feel like a woman, but that doesn't make you a woman. You may feel like a man, but they're not. Those are just evil spirits. And y'all need to tell these people that instead of condemning them. They cannot see. They literally feel that way. But they don't know that they are evil spirits in their minds, and they have identified all their life with those feelings, with those spirits, and they call it themselves. And instead of you judging them, you got to point out to them, that's not you. Those are demons inside of you. You need to forgive. You need to wake up. Don't condemn the world, and you'll be protected from the world. You won't accept the evil of the world. No more. You'll be in it, but not of it, right? But you got to stop playing God with it. Drop your anger so that you don't play God. All angry people or hateful, evil people, they judge. Look how you judge yourself. You're playing God when you judge yourself. Like the young man was saying about the post office. He didn't deal with the situation right in the car or something. In the post office. But when he got in the car, he was like, wow, look how I dealt with that poorly, right? But there's no him to deal with that at all. He never dealt with it wrong or right. This false spirit was the one dealing with it. But the spirit made him judge this false self again. And once he judged the false self, he identified with another false self. That makes sense? Stop identifying with anybody or anything. No money, no place, no nothing. Don't even identify with being a Christian. Drop your little fake values and morality. Those things are not real. You're in prison. You gotta let everything go and be nothing. And you can't be nothing by telling yourself you're nothing. You're just saying words, right? But I tell you that you're nothing so you can stop identifying with false identities. So I want to encourage you for the rest of this week, give it a week. Don't judge this week, nobody, not even yourself. If you handle something in the wrong way, just realize I was unconscious. So you don't identify with something else or situation or anything. That makes sense? Does that help? So you could be in the world. You could be like Christ, not judging, not condemning the world. And you have been made free from the world. All of your sins have truly been wiped away. Now it's time for your heart to change and you'll be free. Stop being angry. Stop judging. And be in the world, not of it. These people are really lost. You got to be lost to cut off your body part thinking that that's going to work. Just think about that. The body part is not, if you're a male, cut off all your body part, put 100 women parts on, you're still going to be a male. You're still going to be a male. But rather than hating these people for that, because you're no different in your little stuff you got going on, you're really no different. Instead of judging them, you don't call it right, but you point them back to, hey, you're lost in your head. You're angry, drop your anger. You're not that. Those are spirits inside these people calling themselves transgender. They even got in now where the world, the experts want to give them something called puberty blockers or something like that. What is a puberty blocker? What? What is it exactly? Hold on 1 minute, I'm sorry.
No, it's just they basically give them sterilization drugs so they don't develop either as man or a woman.
You don't be either one?
Yeah, to kids.
Oh,
they
for
give them to
kids.
kids. Through puberty, yeah.
And so they won't be a boy or girl?
Like they won't develop, their parts won't develop. They'll still have the parts, but they just won't develop.
They just dry away?
No, no.
They'll stay like a kid.
Yeah.
They'll stay like a kid at 90?
The puberty block, because puberty blockers prevent you from going through puberty as a kid, from developing into an adolescent.
Oh, so they're going to always be a kid?
Kind of.
It prevents the women from developing their women parts more and the men from developing their men parts more.
And
dropping
so
the voice and all
you
that.
grew up with no body parts? Joel, what do you think about that? That is, I don't understand it now. I thought I understood it.
They're just preventing the natural process of life from happening, which is why there's issues, because they're trying to stop what is natural to happen.
So like,
That way they can choose which way to go.
but if you ain't working, how you gonna know which way to go? Huh? I'm confused now. We'll pick it up with my experts tomorrow. Hitler had his hand. Yeah, he did like this, like Raymond.
I was just going to say that puberty is what makes a little boy into a teenager or a man, right? And then into a man.
So meaning that it made the whole body stuff develop and everything?
Yes.
Oh.
So a little boy still has his little boy parts.
Right.
So he's always going to have his little boy, his
It
parts.
just won't work.
It just, sexually he's not mature.
And it won't grow hair?
I don't know about that, but
Oh, that was Nick said.
sexually
Nick-
he's not
allegedly.
fully true.
That is so insane. But what evidence? Is that right about the pupil thing?
As far as I know, yeah, it's supposed to keep their body from developing into adolescence and then onto adulthood.
Don't you see how evil that is? Just think about how evil that is, that human beings have decided that I'm going to tell the parents, Don't let your kids develop into a boy or girl. And somebody fall for it. Parents fall for it. And now you got to pass a law to keep parents from, I told you parents don't love their children, because what parent would say okay to that? Just think about that. But parents would say okay to it. Isn't that amazing? It is. So, yes.
Well, maybe the parents have passed their evil spirit onto their children.
They have, for sure. For them to agree with that, absolutely, without a doubt. So you better stop treating your husband that way. He's going to stop your child puberty. All right? So listen, take control of your own life. You will not regret it. Trust no one. And you don't go around saying to yourself, I don't trust anyone, right? You stay present so you can see where people are coming from. You'll see where they're coming from. Just stay present so you can see. And then when you see it, don't judge it. Seeing it is enough. Because it's the light of God who is allowing you to see, and he will protect you from evil. He really will. But you want to stay present 24 hours a day. So practice being present, and if you get lost in your thought, just realize, oh, I'm in my head. And just come back to be aware of your body or something in the present, and you'll be fine. And what's going to happen, you're going to naturally start living that way rather than living in the darkness of your imagination. But you got to die from it. You must let it die. And when the devil is screaming, this is too hard, this is too much, how long this is going to take, it's the devil screaming, it's not you. Those spirits do not want to depart from your body. They want to live inside you. They live inside a human being. So the pain you're feeling is just in the body, but you're feeling the death of the ego dying. Let it happen. So when situations come up at the post office or at the DMV, and you see all the illegal aliens getting licensed and all that, and you get mad, just know those are demons inside of you. It doesn't mean you're agreeing with it. And watch yourself feeling that way, but don't call it you. Present your body to God, and he will destroy all evil things that made a home inside of you. He'll change your nature. Any questions about that? That makes sense? In what way does that make sense?
It makes sense because I do find myself I judge myself a lot. I'm like, oh, you're such a dummy. You did this. Oh, you did that. And then something that I always hear it when you talk to people, especially on the radio show, when you tell them, why are you judging? Are you better than God? And that brings me right back, like, dude, like, let it go. Like, God's not judging you. Why do you feel better than God? Are you God? And so that always brings me right back.
Man. Isn't it amazing we think that we're judging ourselves and we're not? Just think about that. We think that we are our thoughts and our emotions. We think that it's just thinking that you are. It's not even real. What do you think about that, Alexis? That none of this stuff is real. It's all an illusion. You're living an illusionary life. It's not real. Just think about this. You have never done anything wrong. Even the 3 guys who killed their wives and put them on the porch, it wasn't them. We got to write down their name and phone number to the FBI. No, we're not going to turn you in. Allegedly. But you have never done anything wrong, and yet you think you have. You cry at night thinking you've done something wrong, and you have not. It was the spirit that was driving you in the imagination. Isn't that crazy? You think that is you. Isn't that like crazy? It's mind-blowing to see that for me. I've been living an illusion life. It wasn't never real. I've always been free. I've never done anything wrong. I'm neither sinner nor saint. I'm neither good nor bad. I'm neither right nor wrong. Nothing. And if you want to live, you got to live a nothing life. And just go about your work, do your work, eat your food, exercise, and have no opinion about you at all, because there's no one there to have an opinion about. Real fast, what do you think about that, Alessia? And you don't even need love from anyone. You don't need love.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right. Sorry, Nick. You're like, no, don't tell her that.
It's really interesting because it's like in my understanding of it, it's like this thinnest, most like fine veil of things, where it's like just past that is like reality is the real thing.
Yeah.
But it's clouded by just like the finest obstruction. It's like it's almost real and it's like right there, but it's this tiniest, thinnest obstruction. But it's like you can almost taste it. It's so tricky.
It's amazing. It really is mind-blowing. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It makes me think of the movie Nefarious, how we're possessed by our anger and depression. Or
That is deep. You're possessed by your anger. Really. That's the only thing keeping you in darkness. You drop that anger, everything will become very clear to you. Anger is evil. Jesus was not angry. The Christians, they'll throw that out right away. And they're thinking that Jesus had the emotion that they have because they don't know Jesus. But you're absolutely right, man. It was if you haven't seen that movie, run and see it. It's very good. Amazing. Does that make sense to you now that when you got in your car, that it wasn't you?
Yes.
You didn't have to say, oh, I messed up on that one. It was enough to see that you overreacted because you listened to this and have no identity with it. Is that clear now?
Very.
Oh, good. And don't forget, but if you forget, just remember, oh, let me stop. That's not me. It's just a thought.
Right.
All right?
All right.
Okay. Any questions about that?
Nope.
And do not give up, because the devil wants you to give up. The last thing the devil wants you to do is to be present. He doesn't want you to see that those thoughts are not yours. He doesn't want that. He would rather for you to hoop and holler and pray. He would rather for you, oh God, have mercy on my parents. Lord, give me this. And Lord, he is happy when you're doing that. Oh Lord, poor me. Here I am, Lord, lost, found, I need you. The devil loves that. But when you be still and just become the watcher of the not you, he hates that. Because he knows he's going to have to flee from you and all of his little demons. So stay with the silent prayer. Stay with it, and during the day, be aware. Stay present. If you lose, you go unconscious for a moment, just realize, I'm unconscious. Come back to it. Don't judge it. Don't call it anything but unconsciousness. Yes.
No, I was just going to say, that's why I'm going to get one of those shirts you're wearing right there.
That's right. Remember. And I'm telling you, just remember. Stay with it all the way through. I don't care who turned on you or what they say about you. They're not talking about you anyway. They're talking about themselves. It's all about themselves, not about you. So stay with it. Did you have your hand? No? Okay. Last word. Last word.
It reminds me of humans try to be so perfect. We try to do everything because we've been deceived by the devil.
Absolutely, man.
And
you know what I love about being free? You don't have to do anything. It's a black, lazy way out.
Can I say one more thing?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, one more, real fast, this you do. Yes.
No, it's fine.
No, real short, real fast, because they're doing this now to me.
Okay. Well, I lost my train of thought, so it's fine.
Oh, you lost it?
Yep.
Amazing. Okay, thank you, buddy.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything but live. Just live. God got you. Just live. A brand new biblical question. What is a hake? Oh, this is a doozy.
I and my Father are one, is what Jesus said in John 10:30. What does that mean?
I and my Father are one. This is so misunderstood, I don't know what to do with it. But that's the biblical question for this week. And you say it means what? Last word. I am my Father. The brand new biblical question is, when Jesus said, I am my Father of one, what did he mean by that?
Of one.
I'm sorry?
Of one? What does that mean?
That's the question.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it.
Okay, smoke on it.
Yeah, I'll smoke on it.
Right on.
Yep.
Thank you, buddy. That's the biblical question. I am totally out of time. Merry Christmas. We'll do your super chats tomorrow. We have a women's forum this week, the last one for the year. And if it happens this Thursday night the way it started out, we're going to need the police. We're going to need the police. What? Oh, yeah. And we have a matching grant going on to help us take us through the year. We have a guy, I didn't mean to say guy, but a donor who said, I can help you raise the $100,000. I give you $50,000 if you could raise up to $50,000. So make sure you guys give today to get to the $50,000, all right? What else? Oh, another thing I want to tell you. What? Oh, another thing I want to tell you. I'm always looking for a couple things. I'm looking for guys to take over bond. Because eventually I'm not going to retire, but I'm not going to feel like playing after a while, right? And I want guys who can really run the organization. They got to be ran by men, all right? And then I'm looking for guys to be a part of the network, the 24-hour network. All talk, all the time by men only. We have Punchy TV, right, Nick? We have our own network now, so we can say and do what we want, for the most part.
Punchy.tv, yep, you're correct.
Okay. And so we're looking for guys for that, all right? We need to, I'm not about to die or anything, because I sound like I'm about to die or something. I'm not about to die, but I'm constantly looking for guys who run the organization without, even if I am around, you still should be able, the next generation should be able to take over bond and run the network, run the organization, all kinds of stuff. You gotta have some sense. So if you're interested in being a part of the talk show, 24-hour talk show, or that's why I had Doug. One of the reasons I was glad that Doug was coming up during the meeting. I like to have guys come up to do the meetings when I'm here sometime or not here, so I can see how they deal with things. I'm judging them and they don't know it. All right. Huh? You felt it, right? Yeah. That's why when he would lean over like that, I'm like, huh? I got to end. Bye. Amazing.